We are live. I know. We are live. You are watching the Brother Sisters live. And okay. The first thing I want to talk about is the amount of pollen that is in my home right now. It's like thick. It's everywhere. So I'm like, we just noticing I've got this little riser desk and I put my computer on and it is covered in pollen right now. And I actually dusted this thing like yesterday. No wonder.
Yeah, it's very polleny over here too. I was walking across the road to my neighbor's house and they have these pine trees, and it was like a cloud of pollen dust just rolling out of the pine trees. I was like, oh my gosh, is that like mustard gas? Is that tree trying to kill me?
You know what? I've determined that that's actually what pollen is. Pollen isn't like, oh, we're going to make more trees. It's like, no, we're going to destroy the humans. And it's working. Yeah. It's working.
Because sneezing.
Yeah, when I blow my nose, it's like, oh, what's this? Because it's all green and yellow and stuff, and it's super gross. And I'm like, I must be dying of COVID, but I'm like, no, it's just all the trees in your backyard trying to murder you. So,
yeah.
Also, and I have big news. I got new shorts. I don't know if you can see them. I got new shorts from the Duluth Trading Company. They were on sale, so I bought them. And I got to tell you, they make nice shorts. So I get tired of getting shorts that are always misshapen, that don't fit my butt. And what I like about Duluth Trading Company shorts is that they fit my butt. Thanks, you guys. Fit in my butt.
So. You know, they know they're making clothes for people
with butts. And let's face it, Ann Brothers, you and I come from a family with booty. It's true. We do.
Baby got back.
So much
is
back.
Is that still a thing?
I don't know. Well, it is on my butt. My butt thinks it's still a thing, whether it is or not. Yeah. Leg meat. That's me. All right. Hey, I got distracted. I'm sorry. Let's talk about why we're here today. We are here for our Saturday review. We are here to talk about the movie, The Core. I got to do a share screen real quick because it's a big deal. Because this movie is fantastic. Wait, did I do that? Did that right? Go to that. Bring that up. Do one of these. And we are talking about The Core. All right. For those of you that are unfamiliar with this movie, and many of you might be, because it's been a while, The Core was released in 2003. Let's see if I can find that banner real quick. Boop, boop. Banners, movie review, The Core. There it is. The Core was released in 2003. And do you want to talk about this? Because this was your pick.
It was my pick. I am a sucker for science-y, sci-fi movies. I always love when the heroes are the scientists and they can save us, not through, who's got the biggest gun, or it's through their brains and science. Now, sometimes they are disappointing, like The Core, and sometimes they're freaking awesome, like Twister or The Day After Tomorrow.
Yes.
So I always see them. I always see them because it's like, even if as long as they're like, don't take itself too seriously, it's usually a lot of fun. Unfortunately, The Core takes itself very, very, very seriously. And I was looking at the stats for this movie, and it cost like $175 million to make, and they only made like $71 million on it. So you probably didn't see it, but it's got an awesome cast. I mean, this really amazing cast. And I'm like, did they actually see a script before they agreed to do it? Or they're just like, well, hey, Twister made so much money, this has got to be as good, So I did pick it because I always, like I said, I love me a science nerd flick, and it's got lots of science nerds in it. Unfortunately, they take themselves way too seriously.
I tend to like science movies like this because I love it that every scientist is super hot. Like, look, all scientists are hot scientists. Like, here's a hot geologist. Here's a hot meteorologist. Here's a hot, it just goes on and on. A hot volcanologist, like Pierce Brosnan in Dante's Peak, So it's like literally hot scientists everywhere. That's why I love all of these movies, because it doesn't, it's like scientists aren't really people. They're hot Hollywood types, just like everybody else. Yeah, that's why I like it, because it's like The Rock when he was in, what was that one? San Andreas. I don't know if he was a scientist in that. I think he was just he was the hot pilot.
He was a helicopter pilot.
Right. It was Paul Giamatti that was the scientist. So, and he looks more like a scientist, let's be honest. Okay.
Right.
So, all right.
And that's what I liked about Twister is that, other than the two main characters, all the other scientists are very dorky looking, which is like, oh, hey, they look like grad students doing field study.
Well, and I liked them too because they had like lots of little dumb sayings like all science nerds do. They're like, dude, we're in the car. It's the code of silence. We're in the bear cage. Sorry, I could literally talk about Twister all day. All day.
All day. And not even talk about the core.
I know. I'm like, honestly, if you were going to get me going all day, in fact, we should just do a whole day where we just talk about the movie Twister because I have it that much memorized. If I have not seen that movie 100 times, I will eat a chair. I swear. I'm pretty sure it's been 100 times.
I love that movie.
Totally. So the synopsis of the core is that the movie starts with people die immediately for some unknown reasons, and we meet the hot scientist, Aaron Eckhart's character. Yes, I think he's been nominated for like an Oscar. I don't know. And he has. This is what I loved about him is his purposefully messy hair that you see here. So it's like, dude, I'm not really, because like when we first meet him, he's like a cool hip college professor, and he's got the untucked shirt, and look how his collar's all funky, and his hair's kind of messed up, even though it's not really messed up because I wanted it to look that way. And of course, he figures things out like right away. And then, so the problem is because the way it works is in the beginning of the movie, everybody just drops dead. A bunch of people too, and it turns out because they all have pacemakers because the magnetic field of the Earth is deteriorating. And this is happening because convection currents in the outer core have stopped moving because now this is the one thing I liked about the movie is that they do give a nice little lesson on the fact that the inner core of Earth is not made of cheese and it's not hollow and there's no dinosaurs living in there. And they eventually slaughter all of that later. But for the time being, there's no dinosaurs in there. There's not like lava monsters or lava people living in there. So those are the good parts of the movie. Anyway. Convection currents in the outer core have stopped. That's what generates the magnetic field. Because what happens is that the government, the nefarious government, develops a geo weapon that they can cause spot earthquakes that they can, wield against their enemies. I know, right?
I know, right?
That's a great idea. That won't cost trillions of dollars and probably not work. What could possibly go wrong?
Blank check, please.
Money, please.
Yeah, money.
So yeah, anyway, a bunch of stuff happens in the movie. People die. They go into the center of the Earth. It's ridiculous. They've come up with a new element called unobtainium. So bad.
I'm going to get a bra made out of it. These are unobtainiums.
I got to the unobtainium bra. Now that's what I'm talking about. So anyway, let's go. Let's take a look at the good guys. So these are the good guys in the movie. There's like Alfre Woodard. Like I said, this is the cast. Guys, this is like a cast of like Hilary Swank is in this, and she's won 2 Oscars. And Aaron Eckhart and Alfre Woodard has been everything, and she's amazing. And then this guy's been in everything, and this is the French dude who's been in everything. And then this guy's the total nerd and computer hacker who can do it all, and he's got literally the worst dialogue in the entire movie. We'll talk about his haircut in just a minute. We'll get to that. Let's see. The bad guys in this movie are this bad general, that's Richard Jenkins, who has, again, been in everything. If you're lucky, you'll have a movie career like Richard Jenkins. Like, we'll never know your name, but you're in anything and everything, and you're a good working actor. And then, of course, Stanley Tucci right here, who basically steals the movie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And you remember when you can smoke in movies?
I know. He does. He smokes a lot.
Stanley Tucci's always smoking. He's like this superstar geologist who's got like paparazzi following him, and he's always like flinging a scarf back over his shoulder and smoking while people take pictures of him and he waves. I'm like, he's a geologist, right?
Now, as a geology undergrad, let's just say there's not a lot of glamour positions in geology. They're like, oh, paparazzi smoking geologist. No, I don't recall seeing anything like that. But anyway, he's literally the best part because he is the bad guy in this movie. But he's in the end, he's a good guy, but he's a bad guy, and you can tell he's having a blast. He's like, yeah, they pulled a dump truck full of money up to my house and paid me to do this, so of course I'm going to do it. And he is just totally hamming it up. So he's the best part of the whole movie as far as I'm concerned. So
I agree.
So
I agree.
That.
There's
all right,
that.
So Oops, I add that. Okay, so let's go back. Let's finish this. All right. So in the end, Like you said, Ann Brothers, this movie takes itself too seriously, and I would agree with you. This movie's a mess. The editing is terrible. I'll show you a clip in a minute that shows you. In fact, let's see if I can find it now. All right, so if we're watching this movie, so this is the end of the movie, and they're trying to find what's left of the little vehicle that goes into the earth to try and fix everything. And I just want you to watch Rat's hair in this. Can you see that? Can you?
No, not yet.
All right, so I got to fix that real quick. So I have to do a stop screen, and then I got to go to this one, and then I got to do a share screen. And I'm probably not supposed to do this because I'm showing stuff that I'm not supposed to do. Sorry, but I'm going to show it anyway. All right, can you see it now? Can you see it? Okay, there it is.
Yes,
all right, so all right, this is a pet peeve for me when you have people that get paid, hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars to edit well. So anyway, just watch it. Okay, now I just want you to look at his hair. It's all shaggy over the ears. It's hanging down in his face.
Oh, that's good acting there. You know what? He looks upset.
He is, man. He is acting the hell out of that right now. All right, anyway, here it's literally the next scene. They're leaving the aircraft carrier. Now look at his hair. Now look at his hair. It's all neat and tidy. He's got those cute bangs that he all got. Yeah. So, whoops. Yeah. Editing. Anyway. And for some reason, I always seem to notice stuff like that in movies, and it kind of makes me nuts because I don't want to. I don't want to notice those things.
Right. It should be so simple.
Yes, I think it should be so simple. But anyway, so as far as other takeaways from this movie, the science is not so hot. Get it? It's hot in the, all right, anyway. Science, totally, because it's lava. And it doesn't, and with most disaster movies like this, the science doesn't really fit the narrative, so we just kind of ignore the science, and that happens pretty much throughout this movie. Stanley Tucci is great, like I said before, and Hilary Swank has absolutely no idea what she is doing in this movie. So
I couldn't figure it out. I could not figure it out. I'm like, are we like low on vaginas, so we need to throw somebody in this movie that has a vagina, even though they don't do anything other than basically repeat what the computer says? I'm like, so.
Yes. Yep. Two-time Oscar winner Hilary Swank. But you know what? At the same time, I do not blame her for making a movie like this, because it's like a female in Hollywood has a short shelf life. I'm like, in late 90s, early 2000s, Hilary Swank was hot. So it's like, yeah, I'm with her. You take every paycheck. I'm like, here's a large paycheck for you to do this terrible movie. Yes. Here's an Oscar-winning movie. Yes. The answer is yes. So I don't blame her. She's probably wondering why she did it, but then with all those zeros at the end, you're probably like, yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah. Because, yeah.
I'll just go sit in my mansion and not worry about it.
Yeah, so she gets the last laugh on that one. Yeah. As far as our candies of choice to enjoy with this movie, Anne, would you care to talk about your choice?
I got Raisinets because I've always been a big fan of Raisinets, and I feel if it has raisins in it, it's health food.
Oh, so good idea. Really making a healthy choice. I went with Whoppers, and like this movie, Whoppers are always a disappointment. I don't know what it is, and I fall for it every time. I know that these aren't very good, and then I eat the box, and I'm like, why did I eat that? And the thing is, I know the core was going to be bad. I knew it when I saw the trailer the first time, and I went and saw it anyway. And I'm like, how can I be disappointed when I know this is going to be bad?
I miss Twister.
I know. So anyway, I think that's pretty much all we had to say about this movie. But
I think so.
As far as now, I had a professor in college. Those of you that went to Eastern Michigan University probably took an earth science or geology class from Dr. Carl F. Ojala, who was one of my all-time favorites, pretty much my hero as far as teachers go. But he used to call a movie like this an earth science walkout, meaning that you would walk out of this because the science in it is so bad. And there are many fabulous earth science walkouts. This is one of many, literally. But as far as this one is far out of the top 10, it's not the worst one ever. The worst one ever might be 2012.
Oh my God, that was so terrible.
Yeah, that was terrible. Or it could be Aunt Julie's that she made me watch called Earthquake 10.0. Yeah. Anyway, we won't get stuck on that. Anyway, if you want the best of the Earth Science movies, it's Twister, followed closely by Day After Tomorrow. Those are the top two for sure.
For sure.
For sure. What else is pretty good? What else one do I? Oh, you know what? Of the Comet movies that both came out in 1998, Deep Impact is actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah. Deep Impact is a pretty good movie. Yeah. I've even gone back and watched it, and it hasn't, I mean, it wasn't brilliant, but it hasn't aged badly, you know?
It hasn't aged badly. The science in it's pretty good. The stuff that takes place on the asteroid is preposterous, in my opinion, but other than that, it pretty much, it's kind of like how it's going to be when it happens. There will be a breakdown of civilization. People will have to choose whether they will live or die. It's fairly serious. Good, strong female character in there. So,
yeah, which is nice. You know, it's like, I'm not just here because, you know, I don't know why.
Well, and that one was directed by a woman. So, like, if you compare that one to the other, to Armageddon, which is the other asteroid movie that came out literally the same year, that one is directed by Michael Bay. That one is like bro-licious. They're like, bro, there's an asteroid. Dude, let's talk about bro stuff while we go bro out that asteroid. We're going to bro it up. Yeah, so... So, you know,
it's a Michael Bay movie, so you should just totally put it on mute and then just watch it that way. Because I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, does this come with its own can of Axe body spray?
We turned it into a drinking game where you had to drink anytime you saw a slow motion shot, a helicopter, an American flag, or Liv Tyler doing nothing. We had to stop after about 14 minutes because we thought we were going to die.
If you can get all four in one shot, you have to drink the whole bottle.
Yeah, it's because there really are so many slow motion shots, American flags, helicopters, and shots of Liv Tyler doing nothing. Or crying. That's the other one, crying or doing nothing. So,
dude,
which is a typical Michael Bay movie. But anyway, yeah. So I would say Deep Impact is probably my number 3 as far as Earth Science Walkouts go, and then it's kind of a mishmash of. I mean, I like the one. I liked San Andreas because The Rock is super rocky in that. He's like like unapologetically The Rock in that movie. So
you know, it doesn't take itself too seriously because The Rock is in it, so he's unapologetic.
Correct.
So you're like, plus, I love the famous self-flying helicopter so that he could go rescue somebody. I was like,
yeah, maybe self-flying helicopter. Yeah, that was. I'm like, it's not autopilot. I'm like, physics doesn't affect you at all.
I don't think this would work.
I don't think so either.
But hey, you look great. Can you take off your shirt while you climb out of that helicopter?
I know. I'm actually going to need Chris. What's his name? The guy that plays Thor.
Oh yeah,
I want him to make an Earth Science movie so that he can take his shirt off more.
Definitely want him to make an Earth Science movie.
Yeah.
So anyway, more hot scientists, please.
I know. I would totally buy him as a scientist. Any scientist.
Anytime.
So.
Exactly.
Sorry. All right. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to talk about as far as this fantastic movie review. The Core. We think you should watch it because if you have any questions about Earth's interior, they will and will not be answered in this movie. But since we don't really worry about facts anymore, it's fine. Totally fine.
It's fine. Exactly. It's on Netflix, so if you get you have
it's on Prime. You can find it on Prime.
And Netflix. So you can find it everywhere for free, practically. Nice. So I mean, if you got 2 hours to blow and you don't ever want it back, then I say go for it.
If you need a little break from deep thinking, then this is a fantastic movie, as all of these movies are. They offer a respite from thinking. So yay for that.
And maybe you'll watch it and completely disagree with us. And we would like to hear your disagreeing thoughts if this is true.
Yeah, I want to know why, if you've enjoyed this movie, we would like to know why you've enjoyed this movie. We can have a point counterpoint. So don't worry.
What did we miss?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, exactly.
Maybe I just need to look at this movie with different eyes, Ann Brothers, and maybe the people out there can provide me with those eyes. So
maybe I need a laser that can cut through giant pieces of quartz. So there's that.
I want to go to the diamond thing in the middle of whatever, the mantle, which is whatever. Too hot for that. No big deal. like these crystals can exist down here because they have a super awesome cobalt shell.
Okay. Okay.
You bet.
You bet.
Cool.
Uh,
Big news, you guys. We're actually going to be during the summer months while you guys are out having fun on a Saturday afternoon. We're actually going to move our movie review to Friday, and we're going to combine it with our Friday afternoon club and movie review at the same time. So we just thought that would be something fun. So look for that for next week. Got a bunch of stuff up for next week. So look for our trailer tomorrow. That kind of gives you a little heads up of what you can expect to see on the Brothers Sisters Smart Dumb Fun next week. We're coming at you both live and in video next week. So we'll see you then. Thank you for joining us for our Saturday crappy movie review. I'm Janice Brothers.
I'm Ann Brothers. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend, you guys. Bye.
Bye.